Hi, I'm Leo. I'm one of the workshop leads for SWUG, SOLIDWORKS user groups, and today I will be designing this part. Just in case you weren't able to come to the meeting or if it was a little confusing. So compared to the previous part, this one looks a little, it looks pretty challenging, and it is pretty challenging, but it's not too bad if you know how to do, or if you have an idea on how to approach it. Similar to the last problem, if you look at it, or if not, it's completely fine. But like in the exam, what they'll do is they'll give you these parts, and then you just have to. They'll give you a drawing, and then you're gonna dimension it using your extrude boss base, cutting all those jazz. So yeah, so we'll look at it. Here's the part. Let's see. Awesome. Sorry. So we see that gives us our unit system is MMGS, places to decimal places 2, and the type. So we'll go to here. We'll get started. Edit your thing to MMGS. Awesome. What makes this part challenging compared to other parts in a sense is that like if you don't get your relations right and the way you start your sketch, it makes it a lot more challenging. Obviously, there's different ways to approach this problem. The way I'm doing it isn't the end all be all, like I said. But I found this way pretty makes it a lot easier to solve. So what you do is you'll hit sketch. I'm going to choose front plane. Awesome. Yeah. Also, I should mention that you're given these A's, B's, C's, and what that means are that these are global variables. So if you look, for example, at this diameter, which is what this circle slash means, diameter A, it relates to that. And you can also see that there's an R here. R of 8 means, by the way, this is just radius of 8. Yeah. But you'll see that like this A is referring to the global variable, this C is to that, and B is this. These other things like D's and E's are just representing different views. So this is a detail view of a part. So D represents to D, F to F, E is just a part, just a certain section of the drawing. So that one, E is a section view. So getting started, what I'm going to do is look at this detail F, and that's where I'm going to start. So we'll escape, we'll go here, sketch, we'll start with our center point arcs. So actually, scratch that. What we're going to do is we're going to go to tools. Yours might not be set up, but just go to find tools, and you go to equations. And with these equations, you're going to set global variables, and it's like coding. So you're going to hit a quotation mark, A, here, hit the value, 108. Awesome. Return. You're going to add another global variable, B, 24. And then the last one is C. And it's 2.5. Awesome. Now that that's all said and done, we'll hit OK. Awesome. Now we'll begin our thing. So I'm going to draw the open part first. So yeah. So we'll go here. We'll grab our center point arc, bring it out some random amount. It says these numbers, but don't be bothered by those for now, because when we dimension it, that's what matters. And then I'm going to draw the protruding part, the part that's sticking out of the circle. So here, here, here. Awesome. Now that that's all done, we're going to start giving its relations and smart dimensions. So what I felt was good was hit this part, shift, hit this point, make them horizontal. Additionally, if you want, you should check if these parts are parallel and vertical. You can tell that they're vertical. This part is because it has this little green line, or you can just look at the line properties and it says vertical. Awesome. Just check here. Awesome. And then this one is horizontal. Perfect. So look here. We're doing this area first. So we can see that it has a radius of 8. This has a height of 10, and then this has a thickness of 3. So we have smart dimension here are, it says 26.5, but just change it. 8. Awesome. We know that one is 3. This one, escape, my bad. Yeah, wait, no, this is 3. Yeah, so here to here is 3. And the last thing is this is 10. Awesome. Escape. Once you have that, what we're going to now draw is the circle outside of it. So we'll draw that real quick. Hit circle, grab from the center point here, smart dimension, and we know that one is 28. Awesome. With that now, we're going to draw. Now that we have this little part, we're going to look at the total drawing. So what we're going to look at now is these circles. So we're going to just draw this bigger circle. Um, yeah, and I should mention what makes it different than the other two circle-like things we drew was that we don't actually know its diameter. The only thing we're given is actually a relation of C, which is 2.5. So when we go here, draw this circle here, escape. So compared to something like this circle, I'm just going to call this circle 1, even though it's not, but it's circle X. So 1, 2, and 3. So unlike the first two circles where we're given the radius and the diameter, this circle we're not given any of those things. We're given how much it is, the distance between circle 3 and circle 2. So we'll click circle 2, click circle 3. We'll make them equal. And then you should hit equal sign. It'll call global veil, hit quotation mark C, and it will show that. So one might be asking, why are we using these global variables? And it's not important now, but in future videos or in future workshops and in the exam, global variables are important because you will be changing the dimensions of your part. And you might think, oh, well, why not just change them by hand, like manually doing it, is that it eats up a lot of time. So that's why global variables exist. So now what I'm going to be drawing are this outer part. So I'm going to call them circles 4, 5, and 6. So what I'm going to do is grab a circle here, here. Doesn't exactly matter how much you draw them because we're going to smart dimension them. Awesome. So we look here, we see that the outermost circle, circle 6 is circle 6 is A of 108. Awesome. Is 108. Then we know that the relationship between the other one is 6.5 between circle 6 and circle 5. Awesome. And then the last one is C. I just realized I made a mistake. You can type in that, but for good practice, you should type in equals uh, A. Awesome. And then we'll type in here to this one is equals C. Awesome. Now that everything is fully defined, these circles, what I'm going to do is start drawing these pillars and teeth. So, if you're new to SOLIDWORKS and this is your first time or you've barely done anything, one might approach this problem by saying, okay, you know what? Let me manually draw all these pillars, or yeah, just pillars, I guess. Um, while you can do that, that is very laborious, and since the exam has a time constraint, you don't do that. So there's also different ways you can do this, you can either do there's a circular sketch pattern as well as circular extrude pattern. And I'll explain why I choose one over the other later on. But yeah, it's just to put that, and I will also be doing that for the teeth. But for now, we're gonna just do the pillars. So if we hit escape, go back, we'll just draw two lines. So from circle 4, I'm gonna draw lines from circle 4 to circle 3. So I'm just gonna start here, here, doesn't escape that here. Doesn't exactly matter a whole lot because you'll dimension them and make relations. So I'm gonna move this out the way, click this dot, shift this, make them horizontal. Awesome. And we know that the thickness between, we should also check if they're parallel. We know that one is cool. Awesome. Now with that, we'll do C times 2. So what you can do is you can do the math, which isn't bad, 2.5 times 2, or what you can do, SolidWorks has the ability to do simple equations when you're doing the dimensions, which is equals C times 2. And you can hit check. Awesome, 5. Now, what you can do, if an option, which I don't recommend, but I'm just going to show, is you can do these options of like linear sketch pattern. There's a drop down. You can do circular sketch pattern. We know that there's a total of 8 pillars because we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. You know, but that's so we'll just type in the 8 here. Awesome. You see, like you can do that, but these aren't defined. And what makes this annoying is you're gonna have to like play around to try to figure out that angle, like here, here, but it's overdefined because SolidWorks automatically knows that when you chose this circular sketch pattern, you chose full 360 and the amount it does. And you can choose that they're all equally apart. So you're just gonna have to play around to try to figure out what you need to do to fully define everything. But that's just not the best way of your time. You're just losing time by trying to figure that out. So just get rid of those. But yeah, so now last thing is I'm gonna do the teeth, which is this detailed view of D. So yeah, so what we'll do is we'll go up here, sketch. We're gonna draw 3 parts of like a trapezoid. Awesome. Yeah. Now that that's done, exit. We're gonna grab the point, grab the circle 6, coincident, coincident. Awesome. We're gonna make these equal. We're also going to make, just check if this is horizontal. Perfect. So we know that the top is 4, the angle between them is 40, and then this last one is 6. So we'll smart dimension. If the two lines aren't parallel or aren't perpendicular, you can do things like this, hit the two lines, and you can choose the angle. And we know it's 40 degrees. Awesome. Control Z. So that's not good. So if we hit escape, let me just make sure. Um, yeah, that should change to 40. Okay. So interesting issue. Um, so yeah, so if you run into issues like that, what you can do, and I think it's good, it's important to just run into issues is you try to solve it. So you can solve it. I'm just going to redraw it because I just find that easier. So here, 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 exit. We'll go make these two horizontal. That was my issue, horizontal. Then we'll hit this, coincident. You want to hit this point to this point, make this coincident. make the two sides equal. Awesome. Smart dimension them now to 40. Type it in. Cool. And then we also know that this is 4. Now, the last part that makes these teeth challenging is the height of the teeth. So one thought might be to like hit the top to the circle. The issue is it's going to do it in relationship to the center of the circle, which isn't what we want. So what we want it is actually is if you hit this side, if you pull it out like at an angle or like a pointing like a diagonal angle, it'll account for the length of that side itself. But if you pull it to the right or left exactly, it'll do the height. And we know that is 6. Awesome. Now that's all said and done. Um, Similar with the pillar, you can, if you want, try to do the circular sketch pattern, but not the best way. So now that this is all done in one sketch, uh, I guess the reason why I should mention why we did this in one sketch, like I said, there's different ways. You don't have to do it all in one sketch. You can do it differently. Because by doing it in one sketch, it makes it a lot easier for you to grab what you want, and you can use that sketch to do different extruding stuff and cutting stuff. So what I'm going to do is if you look at this again, I'm going to do with the biggest part, which is 18. And you can tell what part of it is like the 18 by it's hard to see, granted, but you can tell that this part D, I mean F, detail F, and the outermost part is 18. So we'll hit here. We'll go features, extrude boss base, and we'll do that. So we want to do mid plane, and the reason why we want to do mid plane is because it makes it easier for us to when we do, for example, the pillars or the teeth. So we want to do circle between circle 4 and 5. I mean between circle 5 and 6. Sorry. We want that part extruded to be the 18. But what you notice is you can click the lines or you can click in between. If you click in between, it'll highlight red. Awesome. I should also change this to 18. Awesome. We're good. And then I'm going to do this one, 18. Awesome. Now that that's done, this part is cool. Hit on your feature tree the drop-down arrow, hit the sketch, hit extrude boss base. Now, what we're going to do, if you look at this, is we are going to do the pillar, the circles on the pillar. We can tell that that's 16 because it tells us that this gap is 1 on each side. So 18 minus 1 or 18 minus 1 times 2 is 16. Awesome. So I'm going to first do the circles. That's not the right one. So we'll just you can hit the sketch contour, delete that. You can do here and here. We know that that's 16. Awesome. Cool. Um, and I'm going to do the pillars separately because of the circular pattern. So we'll do that. Awesome, 16. Hit that sketch. Extrude boss base. We're going to do the pillar. 16. Awesome. Now with this pillar done, we hit that. We can do, instead of linear pattern, drop down, circular pattern. Yeah. It gives us all these, like the dimensions we did earlier, but that's not important. What we want is change this into 8 because we know there's 8 pillars. And the last thing to do is we need to give it a circle to follow or some kind of path to follow. And I'm just going to choose this circle too. And then it'll highlight yellow where it's going to be. So I'm going to hit check. Awesome. So the reason why, like I mentioned earlier, between circular sketch and regular circular pattern, by first extruding the pillar and then doing it, it saves time by not having to figure out the dimensions. So last thing we have to do is we'll go hit the sketch, extrude boss base, is the teeth, and we know that that's 14 because it tells us that it's two each. Awesome. So we'll hit here, change this to 14. Awesome. Hit the tooth, hit check here, circular pattern uh, equals B to call for the 24. Awesome. And then we need to give it a path to follow, which is this one. Cool. Awesome. Now, the last thing we have is, while you think we might be done, right? It looks like it's done, looks pretty close to the drawing, is if you look really closely, you can see that it's actually not sharp edges, it's rounded edges. We can also tell because it says 32 by R2. So what this is pointing to, while it looks like nothing, is actually telling us to fillet it. So we'll hit fillet. Um, so yeah, we'll hit fillet. This chamfer, but fillet's the one that we want. We need to change this. Will tell us this radius is 2. Awesome. And what sucks is that you actually have to manually do all of them. So manually do all 32 of them, and that takes a second, but uh, important nonetheless because we want accurate numbers. So yeah, this will just take a second, but that is how you're gonna have to do all these 32 fillets. It sucks, but yeah, just give me a minute. Oh, see, if you click the wrong thing, it'll lead to the entire thing doing that. So you don't want that. You just be careful on where you click. Yeah. See, another issue of hitting edges or faces. That happens, but almost done. Sorry about this. It just takes a minute and my computer's slow. Obviously you can fast forward through this part if need be, because it's just rinse and repeat a bunch of time. It's just slow, but yeah, awesome. I think that's all 32. Oh, never mind. I missed a couple right here, but mm, yep, yep. I think, and if you want to change your view, you should hit that, and then you can hit the face. So I'm gonna look here, make sure. Awesome, 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 awesome. Hit check, and then it'll round the edge. So last part about it is their material type, and what material it is. So it's alloy steel. So we can go hit this, hit here on the feature tree, edit material, and then we know it is alloy steel. So type that in, alloy steel. Awesome. We'll hit apply. It'll change how it looks. Then we'll go to evaluate, mass properties. We want it in kilograms to meters cubed for the density. Awesome. So we'll go to options. We will use custom settings, grams to kilograms, change that, and then we'll keep millimeters to meters cubed, which is here. Awesome. So we got 7, 7. Oh, awesome. The mass properties. 0.7 kilograms. I mean, my bad. Density is 7700 kilograms per cubic meter, which is what we wanted. Um, there's an error on the slides, which is clear now. We should get something of 0.7 kilograms is what I'm getting on my thing. But yeah, other than that, that's how you model the second part of, yeah, so this is how you model the gear. Like I said throughout the video, and I'll always say is, this isn't the only way to approach this problem. My way isn't the end all be all. do what you think is best. This is just how I found it and how I approached the problem and what I felt would save me the most time with taking the exam. But thank you for watching, and I hope you found this helpful.